anything.
Yeah, you're live.
Are we live, Dr. Art?
We are live.
Dr. Art, are you ready to talk top fuel?
I'm ready to learn top fuel.
So am I. Actually, I'm trying to remember because it's been like decades since I touched any of this stuff. So
You have to reach that wrinkle where all this is hidden.
I have to get past the PTSD and all the various
All the damage
traumas,
and yeah.
all the damage,
Yeah.
and then I can remember. So hi guys. So I was originally going to do this as just a regular video, and then I started like putting it together in my head. It's like, okay, well, we're going to show this. Well, how do I do that in a video? I'm going to get lost. I'm going to get all over the map. And as Dr. Art has found out, that once I start rambling about fuel stuff, I don't turn it off. It's like it just pukes out of my head and I can't stop it. So it makes for a terrible video, but it could make for a good live. So, and plus, this is a chance for you guys who are following this, that are interested in Nitro racing. It'll be a good chance for you to ask questions. And this is going to be a long live. We'll probably stay on for like a half hour or so, or however long it takes me to go through this stuff. But if you've got questions only pertaining to Nitro, it's the only thing we're going to talk about tonight is Nitro. I don't want to talk about the bike in the back, because people are ready. Oh, I want the motorcycle in the back.
No. Yeah. Sorry, it doesn't exist.
Right.
It's a backdrop.
We rolled everything here in the office because you can make pancakes on the foot of the car inside. So where do I start, Dr. Art?
Well, why don't you start at pretend the camera is the fuel tank, and that's where you start, and then we'll work our way through.
These guys are the fuel tank.
Yeah, they're the fuel tank.
All right. Is this kind of centered? Do I need to go to the end of the table here, or should I stay?
No, you're right. Right there is good.
Right there is good.
Yeah, like these little parts you may have to hand.
I'm going. Yeah, there's a lot of little parts. Oh God, where do I even start? All right. So what I've got laid out here are the basic components. I don't have all of the lines that are going to attach here and there, but what we'll do is I'll just illustrate as we go along. Because if I laid everything out, it would be just too convoluted, and I won't be able to show you the individual. Okay.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys. We had a thing.
A thing.
A thing. So where were we?
You would just said I got all this stuff.
All this stuff. We got all this stuff. All right. The fuel system starts. Okay, but before we even actually get into the liquid part of it, let's just talk about this injector for a second. So this barrel valve right here attaches like so, and it's operated through this turnbuckle arrangement. Am I holding this up right? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this turnbuckle arrangement is how you alter the air-fuel ratio at idle. So you're going to set your air gap. All right. Now I don't know. Can this be seen what I'm showing?
Yeah. Do you need help holding it up?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you can see it. They can see it. It's
okay.
Good.
So we're going to set our air gap for about a 3,000 RPM idle on gasoline. I use gasoline. Some people use alcohol, but a non-nitro, before nitro, you want approximately a 3,000 RPM idle. And that's going to be set right here. You've got a jam nut and an Allen screw here, an Allen bolt. And tightening and loosening, this is the throttle stop. And, obviously, you know how a throttle stop works. Now, this turnbuckle over here is how you set the position of the barrel valve for idle, how much fuel is going to be in it. So first we're going to set our air gap, and then we're going to set the amount of fuel the engine is going to see at idle through this turnbuckle. All right. Like I said, this all mounts here like so. You get the general idea. All right. So now the liquid part of the system, we start with the fuel pump. Now, oh, this is what I wanted to say before I got into this. What I'm going to show you now is representative of a nitro fuel system from approximately 1960, 61, 62 until approximately 1998, 1999, because the way fuel is distributed changed. And the reason that it changed is because they changed the way blowers dump into the engine. So in the old days, and representative of this fuel system, you had a big open space at the bottom of the blower. Okay, so the bottom of the blower matched the intake manifold. Beginning in the very late 90s, they changed them around, and now they have what they call front discharge blowers. So the blower only dumps into the very front part of the engine on modern cars. So what I'm going to show you as far as distribution on this goes is different. But we're going to stick with this because this was the app, like if you go to a nostalgia type of thing, Cackle Fest, or you wonder how these cars worked back in the day, the ones that sounded really good, okay, this is the system that is in there. So, all right, so you set your air gap and your idle fuel mixture, same as the screws in the front of your carburetor, with this turnbuckle right here. Now, the first step is the fuel pump. So this one is a Hilborn 175-4. It's a 17 plus gallon per minute pump. And the fuel pressure with this will range from about 40 pounds at idle and up to like 8,000 RPM, which is 4,000 RPM at the pump, because it's directly driven off the camshaft. This Allen drive right here plugs into the front of the camshaft. So maximum pressure on this is like 175 pounds or thereabouts, but it's volume that you're really concerned with. And this is a small pump by today's standards. And this pump is obsolete anymore. They don't make it. We also have an Enderley 1100, which is a different brand, but it's the same configuration of pump, same style of pump. So one of the first things you're going to see here is this line that bypasses, and this is the fuel shutoff. So the reason why this is absolutely necessary is because this pump can never be run dry. Anytime the engine is running, there has to be nitro in the tank, and the nitro has to be circulating in the pump because the pump is lubricated by the fuel as it goes through. And nitro has special lubricating qualities. You can't use like alcohol or gasoline to take that same place. But the pump has to be wet anytime the engine is spinning. And so this fuel shutoff right here, when it's up, you send nitro to the engine. When it's down, you shut it off. And when it's down, it's bypassing and just creating a loop. So this is the inlet that goes to the tank, and then this right here is just keeping it circulating so that it never runs dry. So from the fuel shutoff, we're going to have a number 8 line, like that one. It's going to run up to the K valve or the barrel valve. So the K valve is, this was the standard up until, the very late 90s, early 2000s. These cars only run one K valve, one barrel valve. Later cars that had dual pumps, they would run 2, one on each side of the hat. This traditionally always goes on the left side. So how well can you see this, Dr. Art?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, they should be able to see that on camera, no problem.
Okay. So you notice a bunch of holes here. Okay. This one right here is the inlet. So it goes from the pump to this fitting right here, or this hole, and then you have a fitting like this. Now, I have to get up close so you guys can see this. So here's the setting. Am I okay?
You're good.
Okay. Here's the setting on this. Doctor, can you see through the hole there?
Yes, just tip it down. Perfect.
Perfect?
Right there.
Okay, but I can't see. All right, here. Okay, so I'm going to go like this. I'm going to close the barrel valve.
Okay.
Now, If you guys look in that hole, you'll see a fang. You see the fang? No, can you see the fang there?
Yeah. Down.
All right, hang on.
And yeah.
Okay.
Fang is perfect right there.
Okay. And you see the fang opening up?
Yeah, opening and closing. Yep.
Okay. So to set this thing, that fang is enough to flow enough fuel on alcohol for an engine, for this type engine to idle. But if you want an idle on nitro, you have to go a little bit further past that, and you're going to go about right about there.
Yeah, they can see that.
Can you see the opening there?
Yeah, they can see that.
Okay. That's approximately, I've always set them by eyeball. Some people leak them and stuff like that. I wouldn't even know how to do that on these. I've always set them by eye like that. That's your starting point. So once you've achieved your 3,000 RPM idle on gasoline or alcohol, whatever you're going to idle it on, and you've got your air gap established, that's approximately the fuel gap. And when we're going to change that, we want to make it a little richer or leaner. We're going to make adjustments with this turnbuckle right here. Now, one of the tricky things about when you first start screwing around with these, it's easy to tune yourself like out of the ballpark because it doesn't make an immediate change. Like for instance, if you're setting the mixture screws on your carburetor, like literally in an instant you turn the screw, it changes. Okay, it doesn't work like that on a nitro motor. You turn this; it's a 5/16 turnbuckle. Okay, and you go one flat at a time. So as the engine's idling, let's say you want to fatten it up a little bit. Okay, you're going to turn it to open that fang just a little more, but you have to wait. Okay, so you make your turn and then you count to like 2 or 3 before you go any further because there's a delayed reaction to where the engine reacts. Here's what you're looking for, or here's when I set this thing up to idle. Here's what I'm going to be looking for. When the engine is sitting on the jack stands and the wheel and the tires are freewheeling. Okay, this is important now. So the engine's running, tires are just freewheeling. What we're going to do is we're going to be setting this to where we're going to get a light mist out of the pipes. Okay, so just how can I explain a light mist? You see the way the new nitro cars are, right? Today's nitro cars, it's blowing fuel like crazy, right? Well, we're going to look for our version of that. And our version of that is going to be just a light, wet mist out of each of the pipes. Then, and this is really important, after the motor is warmed up, after it's been running for a minute or so, it's warmed up, we're going to have the driver pull the brake. When the driver pulls the brake, it's going to stop the back wheels, and then it's going to load the centrifugal clutch. Okay? Because remember, the clutch is slipping. I'm not even going to talk about setting the slow speed on the clutch just yet. But motor's running. We've got a light mist coming out of the pipes. We've established that. They're as even as we can get them. It's never going to be perfect because of the way fuel is distributed, through the engine, but it'll be close. And then as soon as the driver pulls the brake, you're going to hear the motor lug down and you can see that mist dry up. Okay, and that's how we'll know that we've got the right setup here. Does that make any sense, Dr. Art?
No, it does, yes.
Yeah. So freewheeling, tires spinning, motors going, blah, 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 doing all that shit. Okay, light mist out of the pipes, pull the brake, and it goes like it should hunker down, and that mist dries up because even the slightest load, nitro is load sensitive. So even the slightest load and that load of the clutch should be enough to drive the pipes. And at that point, then you let it run for a few seconds, let it get its bearing with the driver holding the brake, and then that's when you'll womp the throttle. Just to make sure that it's going to respond, all the pipes are going to come up, and you're going to seat the clutch. I'm a habitual throttle whomper. I do it quite often for the various real reasons, technical reasons, and also because it's fun. So whomp, right? You can get the thing to jump off the jack stands. You're doing good. So, all right, that's how you set your idle mixture. Now, you've got other holes. All right. We have many holes, many functions on this thing. Now, if we take this cap out of here, you're going to find that there's a jet in there. Okay. Now, that jet And in here, actually, there's nothing in here. They shipped it blank. There should be one in there, but there isn't. So I'm gonna have to actually go get one. That's your main jet. Now, for our purposes, we're gonna run it what's called blanked off. So we're just gonna put a blank in there. It's not gonna float anything. But if, let's just say, you want to tune the engine as you're going along, you want to lean it a little bit. There's many different ways you can lean a nitro motor. You can increase the percentage of alcohol, or I'm sorry, decrease the percentage of alcohol. So if you run, let's say you're running your tune up at 88%, you go to 92%, that'll lean it. That's one way to lean it. And you'll lean it through loads. If you're running wings, like for instance, we've got canard wings on that car. So if we want to increase the load, that'll lean it out also. Or we can put a jet in there, and that jet will bypass fuel through this next circuit that I'm going to show you. And that is this. So this is your idle check valve. This is going to be set for 7 PSI, as you can see by the 7 written right on it, okay? And this screws into this passage right here. So fuel's going in, and at idle, the maximum pressure, the top nozzles, the one at the top of the blower we're going to see, is going to be 7 PSI, is dictated by this. This end of it is going to run back to the tank. This is your return, your main return to the tank. Okay, so we've got our in, we've got our return, and then there's another one that screws into the front of this, and this one is called a pump saver. So this one is set for 150 PSI, and this one screws in right up here like this, and this also goes back to the tank. Now this circuit is blocked off. When the throttle is open, this circuit is allowed to flow because you've got your main jet in there. So the main jet needs to be able to flow at all times. So this is always flowing. But when the throttle is open, okay, this passage is blocked off. When you close the throttle, so let's just say now you finish your burnout, you take your foot off the gas, or you're at the finish line, you pull your foot off the gas, off the throttle. There's no gas here, right? You slam the throttle closed. What this does is it prevents the pump from seeing a pressure spike. And the pressure spike can be severe. You know, you've got this moving column of heavy liquid, because nitromethane has the same specific gravity as water, just about the same specific gravity as water. It has momentum. It has real weight to it, okay? So now you've got this moving column of fuel that's rushing through this whole system, and you're going to shut it off immediately. The pressure spikes like crazy. Well, this line, when the throttle is closed, opens up, and it's shimmed for 150 PSI. So it won't interfere with the idle check valve, which is this one, because it's only going to flow at 150 PSI. Other than that, it's dead. Now, these pump savers actually aren't period correct for this car. These didn't come into use until 1975, when they started overdriving the fuel pumps. We're driving our fuel pump one-to-one with the camshaft, but they started overdriving the pumps in 73, 74, 75, and people were killing fuel pumps because of the overdrive. They're spinning them too fast. So that's when they incorporated these pump savers. Now we're using it on this engine, even though it isn't completely necessary, because these are discontinued, right? We can't hurt these. Now we had both of the pumps float. We had this one and the other one flowed over at Alky Digger, and both of the pumps are within spec, so we're good to go there. All right, so we covered our inlet, our idle speed, or idle jet, low speed jet, or I should say check valve, and then our pump saver check valve. Now on this side, we're going to have two lines come out the back of this. One's going to come straight out the back like this, and it's going to curve around to the back of the blower. And there's another one that's going to come out here, and it's going to go down to the port nozzles. So, did I cover it? Oops. This expensive stuff.
You throw it around expensive.
Yeah, throw it around. Sorry, Jeff. All right. Did I thoroughly explain this?
Yes.
Doctor, are you sure? You have any questions?
No, but there was one good question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Hey, guys, if you have questions, this is now the time to ask them.
To know when to change over from the starting fuel to nitro, the temp has to come up before you change it over to nitro? Yes or no?
Yes, the whole point. Okay, so nitro has a lot of bad qualities as far as fuel goes. It doesn't, there's no vaporization, right? It doesn't atomize very well. It goes in like big droplets. You're not going to get a fine mist the way you would, atomized mixture like you would lighter fuels. The whole purpose of the warm-up is to get some temperature in the cylinder head and temperature on the valves. The intake valve has to be hot enough so that when the nitro hits it, some of it breaks up into steam, and in that steam is a lot.
That's a lot of farting around.
Are we back?
We're live again.
That was tough. That was. I'm sorry, guys. I like beyond our control. Probably everybody left.
Half the people left.
I'm sure they did. And
Yeah.
They may come back.
And yeah, they're
Jump back in.
all the good people are still here.
All right. Let's give a few minutes. Are there any? Do you guys have any questions about anything we covered so far? Because next I'm going to get into how the fuel is distributed through the engine.
Let's see if there was